Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Harshal. So I come with a new chapter that named metals and non-metals. This is very easy chapter full of interest. So let's start this chapter with full of enthusiasm. So come with me. So let's start with the first topic that name elements. So why we are learning elements? Because on the classification of elements, elements are classified into three types that are metals, non-metals and metalloids. So the topic of element is necessary. What are elements? One of the types of a pure substance, means that we can say same type of particles or same type of atoms, that we can say element. That you can see a diamond ring, it have a diamond, that is a molecule, and in a molecule all same type of elements are there, so that we can say it is a element. Yes, so let's start. Elements. One, yes, we already learned that elements. Some elements are such as oxygen, gold, Fe, Ag, carbon, C. So these the examples of elements that we already learned in previous standard, ninth standard. Yeah, you got it. So elements are necessary to go the topic of metals and non-metals. So I told that based on properties, based on similarities, based on properties, elements have been divided into three types. The three types are metals, non-metals and metalloids. That we can say metals, non-metals and metalloids. These are the three types of element based on properties, similarities, differences, etc. So first of all, the first property of metal is ductile. That metals are ductile and the ability of metals to be drawn into thin wires is called ductility. So according to that image, you can see that it is a very large thick metal that is drawn into a thin wires, that we can say metals have property of ductility. Means if we can take copper that is very thick, and in machineries, in by factories, that are drawn into a thin wire that are used for electricity generation, etc. So this is the first property of metal. So what is second? Second is malleable. Metals are malleable. Some metals can be beaten into thin sheets. This property is called malleability. For example, gold, aluminium, that are drawn into a foils. For example, in Rutherford experiment in 9th standard, we already learned that gold is already have a large surface area, have a largest property of malleability. And after that, aluminium foils that we use for cooking vegetables, etc. So this is the second property of metals. So now the third property is, yes, my favorite property of metal is metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. Means this is a metal, and in metal atoms the heat is transferred very easily. So we can see that metals conduct heat, metals conduct electricity. So this is the one another property of metals, that is good conductor of heat and electricity. Yes, now fourth is metals are lustrous. Yes, for example, gold, silver, platinum, these all are metals and very lustrous. They are very shiny. They can reflect light very easily. By reflecting light, we can also see that it is a very good conductor. Gold, silver also good conductor of electricity and it have lustrous surface, means the metals, for example gold, silver, that are very shiny and can reflect light. So this is the most important property of metals. So let's move ahead. The last property is metals are sonorous, means they can produce sound, jingling sound or tring sound. For example, iron. The iron bells are constructed in mosques or in temples. So metals are sonorous, that they can produce sound, jingling sound, singing sound. So these are the properties of metals. Now the example are So metals are good conductor of heat and have high melting point. The best conductors of heat are silver and copper. Yes, metals are good conductor of heat and the best conductor to conduct the heat are silver and copper because they are best. Lead and mercury are comparatively poor conductor of heat. Yes, lead Pb and Hg, that we can say mercury. Pb and Hg means lead and mercury are very poor conductor of heat, but they are still metals. So this is the exception that are asked in board exams. So this is also necessary to learn it. So now the physical properties of non-metal. So we discussed the physical properties of metals. They are sonorous, they are lustrous, they have good conductor of heat and electricity, they are malleable, they are ductile, etc. So now we are going to learn what? Physical properties of non-metal. So are you enjoying this session? Hit the like button and share with your friends to increase the joy, increase the interest. So now let's start the physical property of non-metal. Non-metals show the variety of colors. Wow, I like it very much. Iodine shows violet, sulfur shows yellow, bromine shows reddish brown, and white phosphorus, red phosphorus. These are the color type of phosphorus. Means non-metals have very different colors. They are colorful of nature. Means iodine have also have it lustrous, but they have colorful. For example, sulfur, iodine, bromine have reddish brown color, and phosphorus have white as well as red color. So these are the non-metals that show variety of colors. So let's move the another property of non-metals. So the non-metals are either solids or gases except bromine, which is liquid. Yes, non-metals actually means 90% of non-metals are solids and gases, but exception are bromine and others that are liquid. Means bromine, only bromine is liquid non-metal, others are gases, for example O2, N2, H2, hydrogen gas, and the non-metal those are solid, for example sulfur, phosphorus, sodium, and the coke means the form of carbon, etc. So these are the another property of non-metal. So non-metals are poor conductor of heat and electricity, means the reverse condition of metals, except diamond and graphite. Yes, only the non-metals which have conductivity of heat and electricity, that are diamond and graphite, but all other non-metals are poor. And the non-metals are non-lustrous, non-ductile and non-malleable. We know that. Means non-lustrous, but iodine have very lustrous. Means iodine is color with violet, but it have a silver form outer of its surface. So except iodine, all non-metals are non-lustrous, and except carbon, all non-metals are ductile. Means carbon fiber, not the carbon real, but carbon fiber means the form of carbon. It is a carbon fiber that is ductile, means drawn into wires. And except non-malleable, yes, these are the exception. Iodine and carbon fiber are exception of non-lustrous and non-ductile. Diamond and graphite are exception of poor conductor of heat and electricity. So these are the properties of non-metals. Now general fact. It is a very important point of this session, that is general facts on exceptions about metals and non-metals. So let's focus to my video and hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. So all metals except mercury exit as solid at room temperature. Means only mercury exit liquid state in room temperature, but all other metals are solid. So except mercury, this is an except. Now second is metals have high melting points, but gallium and cesium have very low melting points. These two metals will melt if you keep them on your palm. Inside room temperature, we know that metals didn't melt because they have high melting point, but except these two metals, for example gallium and cesium, that are in liquid. Means so when we put our body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, that the gallium and cesium melt very easily. So this is also exception of high melting points. So gallium is also one of a very poor conductor of metals, but cesium have very high conductor of metals. So this is very reactive. So next is iodine. Iodine is a non-metal, but it is lustrous. We know that it is violet in color but have a silver surface. That by the silver surface it is lustrous, but it is non-metal. So now carbon is a non-metal that can exist in different forms. Each form is called allotrope. Yes, we know that due to carbon our earth is alive. Without carbon all is exception. So what are allotropes? Allotropes are forms of carbon. For example, diamond, graphite and fullerene. These are the form of carbon that are introduced by scientists, means that are only carbon, but when the carbon exists in different forms, different sense is called. So let's start with diamond. Diamond is an allotrope of carbon, is the hardest natural substance known as very high melting and boiling point. This is a non-metal but have conductivity of electricity and have high melting and boiling point. Now other allotrope of carbon is graphite. It is an allotrope and have conductor of electricity. Yes, this is a non-metal but have conductivity of electricity that we can use in wires, use in pencil, yes, etc. Now the other is fullerene. It is a ring structure of carbon. That black dots are all are carbon, means when they are come in a pentagon and hexagon structure and in a ring, that you can say an allotrope of carbon, that is fullerene. So what are alkali metals? Now the alkali metals lithium, sodium, potassium are so soft that they can be cut with a knife. You know that the property, one of the property of metals are they are hard, but except sodium, potassium and lithium, because they are very soft that can cut by knife. Yes, in shown before below the image, that these are called alkali metals. So then ended the session. Yes, our properties of metals and non-metals are ended. Now the homework for the session is, yes, I started a homework for this session is these four example. Give an example of metal which is liquid at room temperature, can be easily cut with knife, and best conductor of it and poor conductor of it. These four answer of this question, you can answer this in comment box. Yes, this is your homework of this session. If you like this session, hit the like button, share with your friends, comment this homework, and subscribe to my channel for more videos of science, English and social science. Bye bye.